Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest, thorniest challenges out there for businesses. How do you actually get powerful, shiny new AI tools to work with the technology you already have?
Look, the promise of AI is just massive, right? It can supercharge your efficiency, unlock insights you never knew you had, and totally transform how you interact with your customers. But here's the catch. There's this huge gaping chasm between buying a cool AI tool and actually plugging it into that complex web of systems you rely on every single day. And that gap? That's where so many of these ambitious projects go to die.
Okay, so how do we bridge that gap? How do we actually navigate this? Well, here's the game plan for our explainer today. First, we're going to talk about why this is so mission critical right now. Then we'll look at the three main paths you can take. After that, we'll face down some of the biggest technical hurdles, talk about the all-important human element, peek into the future, and then wrap it all up with your first concrete strategic steps. All right, so first things first. You might be wondering, why are we talking so much about integration? Why not just rip everything out and start fresh? Well, it's because modern businesses are these incredibly complex ecosystems. You've poured years, maybe decades, and a whole lot of money into your current platforms. They hold your most valuable data, your secret sauce, your business logic. The goal isn't to just tear all that down. It's to make it smarter. And listen, the stakes here could not be higher. Get this right, and the rewards are massive. We're talking streamlined operations, way smarter decision-making, and customers who absolutely love you. But get it wrong? Oh man, a poorly planned integration can trigger system conflicts, corrupt your precious data, and create this operational nightmare that can set you back years. No exaggeration. Okay, so we know the stakes. The question is, how do you actually do this? Where do you even begin? It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of problem. But the good news is, there are really three main strategic paths you can choose from to connect AI with all your existing stuff. And your first big decision here isn't really a technical one. It's a strategic one. You have to ask, are we going to build custom connections piece by piece? Or do we need some kind of translator to sit between our old and new systems? Or should we just leverage a big platform where a lot of these connections are already built for us?
Let's break that down. Think of the API-first approach like building with Legos. It's super flexible, totally modular, and it lets you add new AI features one at a time. Then you've got middleware. This acts like a universal translator, which is absolutely essential if your core systems are, a bit older and don't speak the same language as modern AI. And finally, you have the cloud platforms. This is kind of like the fast track. They give you all these pre-built connectors to get you up and running as quickly as possible.
All right, but of course, no great quest is without its monsters, right? And when it comes to AI integration, there are a few big, scaly, fire-breathing technical dragons that you absolutely have to face head-on. But don't worry, they are defeatable.
So let's talk about the biggest dragon in the cave first, your data. Your business has been collecting years, maybe decades, of incredibly valuable information. But here's the hard question. Is it in a state that an AI can actually understand? See, AI is picky. It needs clean, structured data to work its magic. So that whole process of cleaning, transforming, and getting your data ready, it is absolutely non-negotiably critical for success.
Okay, beyond just the data itself, there are two other major hurdles. First, security. You have to be absolutely sure that giving an AI access to sensitive information doesn't open up new vulnerabilities. That means rock-solid authentication and encryption. And second, you've got to guarantee performance. The last thing you want is for these new connections to create bottlenecks that slow your entire operation down to a crawl. It has to be fast, and it has to scale. And this brings us to a really vital point. You could have the best tech on the planet, but it will not get you across the finish line by itself. When it all comes down to it, successful integration depends entirely on your people. Honestly, this is probably the single biggest reason why so many AI projects fail. You can architect the most elegant, beautiful technical solution, but if the people who actually have to use it every day aren't prepared for it, aren't trained, and aren't on board with the change, then all that brilliant code is basically worthless. So what does that mean in practice? It means two key things. First, you need active change management. New tools mean new workflows, new habits. You have to guide people through that. And second, you need intense cross-functional collaboration. If your tech team is over here building something in a silo and your business team is over there with the real-world problems, you're just not going to succeed. They have to be in lockstep from day one.
Now, the good news in all of this is that this whole journey is getting easier. Seriously. The tools, the strategies for integrating AI, they're constantly improving, And that's making this path way more accessible for everyone than it was even just a few years ago.
There are three big trends that are really changing the game here. You've got low-code and no-code platforms, which are turning these super complex integrations into something more like a visual drag-and-drop exercise. It's incredible. Then there's edge computing, which is all about bringing the AI's brain right to where the data is being created, which gets rid of lag for real-time decisions. And finally, we're seeing more AI-native platforms that are literally built for integration from the ground up, just taking so much of that complexity off the table.
Okay, we've covered the why, we've covered the how, now let's make this real. Let's bring it all together. Here is your clear, actionable map to begin your own integration quest.
And the key here is don't try to boil the ocean. You'll just get overwhelmed. Number 1, start small. Use focused pilot projects to prove the value and, just as importantly, to learn some lessons in a low-risk way. Number 2, invest in expertise. That could mean training your own people or bringing in partners who've done this before. Don't go it alone. And number 3, take a really honest look at your current systems. You might need to consider modernizing some of your core platforms if they're creating huge roadblocks.
Because, in the end, success isn't about just bolting a new AI gadget onto your old systems. It's about thoughtfully weaving artificial intelligence into the very fabric of your business. The goal is to create a smarter, faster, and more effective organization from the inside out.
The AI-driven marketplace isn't coming, it's already here. The technology is ready, the competitive advantages are very, very real. So the only question left is, what's going to be your first move?